I am not a politician and I don't beat around the bush.
I am not a politician, I am a soldier. And for that matter, I don't beat around the bush. That is Captain Traore speaking once again. You know, anytime you listen to Captain Traore, you ask yourself, why? How come this man didn't come that early? But we thank God that we have such a leader at this particular point in our history, because this is the kind of sincere leadership that we need. A leader who will look into the eyes of his ministers and tell them the truth. We can only overcome the predicaments, the challenges, the difficulties we are going through as children of melanated people or the children of Africa. We can only overcome whatever difficulties that the colonial criminals put us in if we admit the challenges and then sincerely come together and fight against whatever challenges that the colonial criminals put us in. I want to show you the full video as Captain Traore talk or admonish, counsel his ministers. Let us watch it, come back and analyze it. But as usual, we are calling on you. Before you do that, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, One African Mission, the #1 African Mission. Just as Captain Traore is talking, we are all involved. We all want to get involved in fighting for our liberation as African people. So we have come out with One African Mission, and our mission is to go around the continent of Africa to preach the gospel of, or to evangelize the gospel of unity to our people, because we believe that it is only unity that can give us back our dignity as children of Africa. So please, if you appreciate what we are doing here in One African Mission, please don't hesitate to share our content, and also pass your comments. Honestly, we are really learning a lot from your comments. Most of the comments that you are passing is helping us when we are doing our next content. So please, let us all together fight for the dignity of Africa. Let us watch the full video of speech of Captain Traore. Come back and analyze.
I am not a politician and I don't beat around the bush. I am a soldier and I prefer to tell you the truth. Everyone is free to take it or leave it. Everyone drives their car, everyone lives well. We eat in the morning, we eat in the afternoon and evening, and we do whatever we want to do. We are free to speak, to say what we want. This is democracy. This is the law. That's all. That's all we know in Ouagadougou. But go and see them, the children who are skin and bones. Go see those who are starving. Go see those women who can no longer breastfeed because they have nothing left in their breasts. Go see them. Let's not pretend. If our journalists don't have the courage to go out in the field and bring back these images, it's because we want to whitewash Burkina's image. I'm telling you, it's false. It exists. When I tell you about people who eat grass, those who want to contest, I will take them to see it continues. It hasn't even stopped, because we have managed to supply some villages, but others not yet. We are still on the way. No civilian can even support us with trucks, so we can show solidarity with these populations. What kind of integrity is this? What is integrity, Burkina Faso? What is it? This lack of support has deeply unsettled and revolted us. Until we truly address the core issues plaguing this country, we will remain in a state of unrest and discontent. For the moment, we've managed to secure some trucks in the army and have been using our own means to transport supplies. However, this hasn't really added much to the support for the starving populations. And even in doing this, there's been a distinct lack of empathy. The citizens were aware of the situation, but they've remained on the sidelines. This is to say that solidarity has disappeared in Burkina. Have pity for the people, have pity for the youth, have pity for the children. What have these villagers done so that when the sun sets, they find themselves in caves and under trees? They leave village after village, and in the morning they come back to see if everything is okay before returning. They sleep in the bush. They cannot sleep in their homes. We don't tell you these truths. This is the reality of Burkina. We only see our cities. We are responsible for what happens to us, and we will be fully responsible for what will follow, whether it is good or bad. It will depend on our behavior in the future. Everyone gives their best. And I think we can get there. I am optimistic. I have faith, and it will happen.
Yes, so after listening to Captain Traore, why wouldn't you pray to God to give us more dictators, as they call him? Why wouldn't you pray to God to give us more dictators like him? Because if you're listening to him, you will see that this is a man who really wants the best for his people. He is not just talking. He's walking the talk. As he said, we are going to the villages. We are providing them the basic necessity, the basic stuff that they need. But it is not enough for now. It is not enough. What are you doing as a citizen to contribute so that all of us, you cannot be in the city eating 3 times a day whilst your brothers and sisters are in the village? They cannot eat, if they cannot have even 1 square meal a day. This is a leader. This is a leader who cares about his people. Until all his people are satisfied, he will never be satisfied. This is the kind of leadership we want. When we talk about Ubuntu as children of Africa, this is what we mean. This is what Ubuntu means for us. As he said, is this what we want? How did we get here? Who made us so selfish and greedy to the extent that we are in the cities enjoying, and then we forgot about the rest of us, or the majority who are languishing in poverty? How did we get here? This is the kind of leaders we want. Not leaders who will go and be given when they are ministers. And he was admonishing his ministers, and then you could see from the ministers. Imagine you listen to a leader, your leader like this. If you go home, or when you leave the event, going home, what would be in your mind? Unlike others, we're not going to mention nobody's name, but we all know in your country, in my country, and in her country, we all know how our leaders, our presidents, prime ministers are defending corrupt officials. But he is saying, no, we have to live a life of dignity. And then where is our dignity? When and you know what? Another thing is, the rest of the world, they are judging you based on what they see or in the villages. When the Europeans, the Americans, the Chinese, when they come, they don't show you the cities. They go to the villages. And the people who are living in abject poverty, these are the images they will take to Europe and be showing to the rest of the world. So no matter how successful you think you are as a melanated person, as long as they are seeing negative stuff about your continent, the continent of Africa, they will judge you based on that. So whether you are Dangote, whoever, Jay-Z, whatever, as long as you are a melanated person, they are judging you based on what the media is showing them in the villages in Africa. The other day when I was in Ethiopia, traveling from Addis Ababa to Moyale, the border between Ethiopia and Kenya, there was a Japanese guy. All that he was doing is taking negative stuff about Ethiopia. You know, children wearing dirty clothes and stuff like that. When the bus is going, those are the pictures he was taking. Until I have to confront him and ask him, so since we left Addis Ababa, on our way, you were just taking negative stuff, haven't to see anything positive. That was when he stopped doing that. So Captain Traore is saying we must all get involved in the liberation of the continent of Africa. It is our duty, it is our calling. And then we don't have to be selfish, we don't have to be greedy. When did we as African people become so materialistic that we can sell our own people just for material gains? When that, like, you will discover minerals in your country, and then it is just for the few ministers and the Western colonial criminals. As long as the Western colonial criminals can satisfy a few of us, the rest of us in the villages, we can continue to live and die in poverty. Captain Traore said, no, that is not what we want, and that is not what we represent as African people. He was speaking to his people in Burkina Faso, but the reality is that this is not what we want as African people. We want to stand up and care for each other. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Kwame Nkrumah, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, they all sacrificed themselves for the benefit, collective good of all of us. That is the reason why, if it was left for them alone, they would have lived a happy, better life. But they say no. So what are you doing as a child of Africa? What are you contributing to see the continent of Africa regain back her dignity? Captain Traore is calling on his ministers, and I am calling on you. Let us all get involved. That is why we are here in One Africa Mission. It is difficult, but we have to do it, so that future generation of Africans will not be going around the world as being seen as third-class citizens of this world. Because as we can see today, some people have made themselves as first-class citizens of this planet Earth, and then we are second-class or third-class citizens. They call us third-world countries. We must bring a change to that, and that change will come. That change has started in the Sahel, and then we must all contribute. And then we thank God we have people like Captain Traore at this particular time in our history. I thank you very much for coming around. Please, as usual, please don't forget to support our mission, One Africa Mission. Together, me and you will bring back our dignity as children of Africa. Thank you very much.